Hi, Robert. Welcome back. Just a note on team news ahead of the weekend.
Yeah, so we have Claire Hunt is suspended for this game, and then Evelina is back for this game, which is really good news. So it's a really strong squad right now, so it's going to be hard to pick the squad for Sunday.
How has the international break been for you as well? Because I guess leaving off with the North London derby beforehand, I guess a lot of learnings from that one.
Yeah, I think there was a really tough loss against Arsenal, and then most of the players are flying all over the world to play games, and then you cannot really get together the way you might want to do and make sure we can speak about it. But we had a few players left, and we had some of the leadership group's players left, so it was really good to have a few days with them to chat about the game and what we can learn from that one. And then some really good trainings. We're using the academy players and train with those senior players. We played a friendly game against London Lionesses, so we had a game together with the academy, which was really nice, and Olivia Holt scored a goal in that game. So we had a good 1.5 week, to be honest, and it feels like we are back to compete on Sunday.
A big game on Sunday against Manchester City. It doesn't get much trickier, I guess. What were the biggest learnings from the first time you met this season?
I think we have had some big losses against the top teams this season, and we thought that we're ready to compete the way we want to play and try to go for it. And we have most of those games actually conceded goals early and haven't really nailed both in and out of possession. So we need to understand where we are. We need to know what's the most important thing to make sure we stay in these games, but still not go away from our identity. And I think that's the thing we speak about. How can we adapt a little bit, but still make sure we see the identity we have and still actually compete, because we don't want to lose 5-0, we don't want to lose big numbers, but we still want to push the team forward, because in the end we're going to have that identity. That's the whole part why I'm here, so it's a mixture of it.
And to be back at home in front of your fans, that must be pretty special as well.
It's going to be really good to get back there, and I think we had a great game there against Man City last season, and to be honest, Brisbane Road it's a lot of charm to be there as well. I think it feels like we're coming with a really good character. All the players was back today as well, so it's going to be good to compete.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, we'll jump to Adam Millington. Come back to Alex.
I think I was probably planning to ask the same question, but there's a piece of the Guardian this morning about the WSL considering scrapping relegation potentially and expanding the league. I was just wondering, what are your views on that? Has that been a way to expand the numbers? Do you think it might harm competition potentially to not have that direct relegation thing?
To be honest, I haven't read all the articles about exactly what it includes. But if I start by actually bringing more teams to this league, I'm a big fan of that. I think 12 teams is too few. Obviously, it needs to be fixed with also that the clubs do the investment to make sure they can compete, and so that the league doesn't become too bad. But I'm a very big fan to add more teams to the league, as long as the clubs actually invest in those teams and make sure that they show that they want to invest in women's football. Removing the relegation, which I thought it was on that article, is I definitely want to have a relegation battle, because I think you need the competition up in the table and down in the table. If it's for 1 year or 2 years, to make sure we can have a big investment in those teams, show me the case and what they think about it, and we can listen. But I'm a big fan of the relegation battle as well. I think the fans want to see these games where you compete up and down in the leagues. But I'm not really sure exactly what it includes in that article, but I'm a big fan for more teams, and I'm a big fan of having a competition for the relegation.
Along with more team stuff, it was Derek this morning who was saying, especially once you get to this sort of time of year, if you're not a team who's one of the top three, who's competed in all different competitions, it can get quite quiet, potentially. You've got teams playing in cups on certain weekends and games being rearranged. Is that where having more teams would benefit more across the entire table, rather than just, it'd be something that's spread out and does actually benefit those who go through these long periods of gaps and not having the regular minutes in football?
Yeah, I think if you want to, what I see it, I don't want to just develop Tottenham. I want to develop women's football, and I want to have more clubs that help out to do that. If you only have the top 4 clubs and then the rest is big gap under them, you're never going to get these kind of layers where you can step one step in a time. I think adding more clubs, and they need to invest, then you perhaps get a layer where you are a mid-table team, and then hopefully the EuroLeague and the Champions League will add more teams in the European way of playing, so you still find ways to compete wherever you are in the table, and then you have the relegation battle. And then you also have the good thing when you play in this league now with 12 teams and you play against the top 4 teams, you have a big problem to win games and actually get a self-confidence. If you have more teams, you're probably going to have more games where you are expected to win instead, and then the players you have, you can compete more and you can make sure that you're learning to win and lose and finding ways to win. And then you can use your squad. I mean, we have 25 players and we only play 22 games in the league, which is it would be nice to find a way so you can use the squad even more. Cheers.
Thanks, Adam. We'll go to Colin.
My apologies. Morning, Coach.
Good morning.
I'm Benjamin, TV Sports United. Just 2 quick questions. First, on goalkeeper Rebecca Spencer, obviously she got full minutes in one of the regular girls' friendlies. How happy are you to see your backup goalkeeper get some full minutes? She hasn't been playing a lot.
Yeah.
And your general team and women's football reaction to the unfortunate situation that's been going on.
Obviously very happy that she got to play and perform. I think during my 1.5 year here, she has played a lot and she's been very, very important player to show the identity we want to play. She have had some really big games, good games, and then of course a few games where we as a team have struggled, but I think she's so professional. I think she was sick before Christmas for a few weeks, which affected her way of training, and then we signed a new goalkeeper, so of course she has have a tough month to not play too much, and that's why I'm very happy that she could play against Peru. She trained very well, so for me she's a top professional goalkeeper with a high quality, and she's competing every day here.
Okay, we'll go back to Alex.
Apologies for that earlier, Robert. Can I just ask, it's been 2 weeks since your last match, and that's another 2 weeks until your next match. Is this kind of, would you like this? Because normally it's a case of teams are playing too many matches, but it seems like Spurs are now quite spread out. Is that an issue at all? Yeah,
I kind of like to compete every week, so you have the training and then you come to the weekend and then you compete. Obviously, it's a lot of national team games and they need to play those games, and we need to make sure we have a different plan we have friendly games adding in there, and that's fine as well. It's not the same thing, but it's still something. But in a normal week and a normal routine, you kind of like that kind of preparation for the weekend when the game comes, and that's why I want to have more teams in the league and actually try to make sure we can also have those weekends that is more like really special for the fans and for us.